Hey everybody, I just wanted to jump on and dive a little bit into some clarity on if the last trumpet, that being the trump or trumpet of God, is the same as the seventh trumpet in the book of Revelation. So in 1st Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 16 through 17, it says, "For the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of an archangel, and with the trumpet of God. And the dead in Christ will rise first. Then we who are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and thus we shall always be with the Lord." And in 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 through 52, it says, "Behold, I tell you a mystery. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in a twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet," or trump. "For the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible must put on incorruption, and this mortal must put on immortality." So one thing that many people disregard is that the Bible speaks of that trumpet by which the church will be caught up in the rapture as the trumpet of God, whereas they confuse that with the seventh trumpet of the book of Revelation, because the trumpet of God is called the last trumpet. And so they say the seventh trumpet in this series of trumpets, the last trumpet in the book of Revelation, must be the last trumpet. But note, in the book of Revelation, those trumpets are of the seven angels. They're blown by the seven angels, not God. And there's a vast difference between the seventh trumpet, which is declared to be a woe or a judgment, and the trumpet of God, whereby he calls the church to her reward. Believers are gathered with the trumpet of God, which I believe is actually his voice calling us home, the trumpeting the call of "come up here." In the Old Testament, trumpets sounded the alarm for war and threw the enemy into a panic, as in the sense of the seven trumpets that we see in the book of Revelation. These war trumpets in the Old Testament are described in Revelation chapter 10, verse 9. And then we see the ones in Revelation in chapter 8 and verse 9. And also in verse 11 and chapter 11. And that's where you see the last trumpet. But the trumpets also sounded, in the Bible, there were trumpets that sounded the assembling of God's people. And that's seen in Leviticus chapter 23, verse 24, and Numbers 10, verse 2. Here, the trumpet of God, in our passage reference at the rapture, is gathering his people. It's not a call to war or judgment. The last trumpet of 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 52, where it says, "In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet, for the trumpet will sound, and the dead will be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed." So saying in the twinkling of an eye, at that last trumpet, we're going to be changed. Clearly, that seems to be connected with the trumpet of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 that I just read. And then there is the seven trumpets I spoke of in Revelation that culminates in Revelation 11, verse 15. And so the trumpet of 1 Thessalonians 4 is for the church. And the seventh trumpet of Revelation 11:5 is for the wicked world. The results are different. One is the glorious catching up of the church to be with the Lord, but Revelation 11:15 is further judgment upon a godless world. In 1 Thessalonians 4, the last trumpet signals the close of life, the life of the church age. And Revelation 11:15, the seventh trumpet makes or marks the climax in the progress of a series of apocalyptic judgments upon those that are living on earth. So again, we must not confuse the sounding of the trumpet, of the trumpet call of God, and the resurrection and the rapture with the seven trumpets of judgment in the book of Revelation, Paul said that at the sounding of this last trumpet, everything will happen in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye. But the sounding of the seventh trumpet in Revelation will not happen so quickly. Revelation chapter 10, verse 7 says, but in the days, plural, in the days of the voice of the seventh angel, when he is about to sound. So, meaning that the seventh trumpet of Revelation will cover a period of time, and it will not be over in a moment. The trumpet call of God for his church is not a woe or a judgment. It is a call to our reward.